Hey guys, guess what? Me and you was talking about something. I kind of forgot about it. About that AirForce survival knife that you couldn't ever pay attention to, and you kind of didn't like it. Right there it is. Now here's the catch to this damn thing. Most people never. You want me to tell you how I look at it? This is the butt, or what they call a blunt, or plumb. It's used for hammering. Still showing you. This handle's got that, but if you use your beads, it tells you how many beads you need when you're using a compass. That's the second thing I learned from my ancestors. Second, this right here was supposed to have been a saw, which is a saw backwards. It's actually completely, you stick it in to push it out. And my uncle and them used to tell me they used to actually have to saw through plastic. It's the glass and the aluminum they had in the old airplanes. Korea and Vietnam and World War II, they used them. The fine point, that's just to make holes and stick stuff. It wasn't never used for really a combat thing. It's mainly used for survival. This right here, if you did use it, they would file it down as an extra edge so you can scratch a guy, or two blades is one. But most of the time they didn't do that. You use this mainly, the blade, for it. The spoiler right here, or what some people call a blood groove, and that little, I call it a cheek, because the cheek part, let me give you a little help you on that. We're gonna use this damn scissors. The cheek's down below the blood groove. It's thicker to make the knife stronger. The blade, yes, you do have to sharpen the shit out of this motherfucker. If I would, I'd get me a what they call a workshop sharpener, or hold for a second, I'll get it for you so you know what I use. I use this. And what's that for? Is that you can, it posts this knife right here, goes to between 20 and 25 to make a razor sharp blade. This thickness part, or what I call the spine or cheek, it's angled a little bit more than what it's supposed to be. So you have to go to a 19 to make this damn thing razor sharp. And it only goes to a 20. So that means you have to turn it a little bit more to make it razor sharp. This right here is not really used for, like, it is used for spears, but actually when you stick your area, when you put a tent, like you want to make you a tent, you slam it in the ground, you have your two ropes right here, the hooks, that pulls it straight to the tent. It goes up about like that. In other words, if you're putting the tent, it'll go over. Your top would go over it. That's what this was used for. When it comes down to feathering, it's, yeah, you don't really have to do it, because most of the time in Vietnam and in Korea, they would get the smallest branches and break them off to get their fire started. And feathering really wasn't a thing back then. Only ones that did it, that was mountain people like Tennessee, to North Carolina, the Rocky Mountains and the Smoky Mountains. The mountain people did it. Hmong used it a lot too. The Vietnamese soldiers used it. Our Vietnamese soldiers that helped us, and some Gorgons, have used this knife. That's what them things was used for. It was mainly to make a spike so you can put your rope in there and string it up to your tent. So that's what it would be. They would use these for only skinning animals and processing it. That was it. That was for the AirForce to survive with. Now, when you're a Boy Scout like I was, and my uncle in the military, they made damn sure that almost every one of the Boy Scouts had one. I mean, I had a field day. If you're going to notch so you can put a trap up in a little limb, you catch it on the side. It ain't nothing but just to make a little notch for your little string, about like this kind of string right here. or you got that real small wires for booby traps. But that's all they was doing when I was growing up, was teaching me how to use this. Other part, when they used it as a spear, sometimes they'd put the 2x4 here so it'll land just like that on the 2x4. So when they swing it, it's still just like that. You coming around the corner, you just run slap into it because he's just playing baseball with you, and then pull it right back out. That shit hurts. But they never used it in fighting that much. It's mainly all survival. They also carried, a lot of them carried K-bar knives and the old hickory knives. That's what they used in Vietnam and Korea. When the Air Force give them this, they know that's what this was used for, mainly basic survival, and that's all it's good for. Boy Scouts, we used it on a whole bunch of shit. I never had a problem with it, you see. The good thing about I liked it was the case. Them holes were made where you can put them up here and that, but nobody paid attention. It'd be around your back. 2 here, 2 here, and you can go and put it right there, just like that, for an extra knife. The metal part, the little aluminum that I got right here, is for the leather. It will go to, they will wear out the leather, but they kept the same design, except they got these metal pegs that keep them there. See what I'm saying? The old one didn't have that. It was all double. You had 2 sewing areas, 2, like this in the old ones. That was in the Korea and Vietnam. Civilians would get shit like this, but they still would have these little pegs inside, so it would not wear out the leather. This is for the belt. This right here is also for the belt. So if you had rope, you could just hook it on this right here and just string it around. Then you just hang it. But that's what they would use this for. And you do got a very small sharpener. That's why they wanted you to sharpen this damn thing up as good as you can on the Air Force pilot knife. Because you can cut yourself out of the rope. The little strap going around you. But then when you got them wires and stuff, you use it to push. That saw part, that's what it was used for, was pushing out. The metal they push out because it's aluminum. This is not a blood groove. A real blood groove is like a little mini pipe on there. So when you stab it, it just shoots, the blood just runs through it and runs out. But it's called a fuller. And that belly or cheek on the blade is thickness. That's what it's for, to make it stronger. I hadn't had a problem with them yet. And you see this old one, and this one was actually issued in '79. And my uncle gave it to me when I was a kid. I got a kick out of it, because I use this all the time. Still do it every once in a while, especially fishing. I never had a problem with that. But if you do, you can easily tap this off. You tap it down this way to tap it off. Restring it, put new leather in. You're going to still use damn glue. They still use the super glue light on this so it would work. But then you got to remember, this is the butt, this is the handle or the hilt, your guard with the 2 holes. Now you know what the 2 holes was really used for. Yes, it was used for a spear, but yes, it was used for a spike. So you shoot the ropes here to run their tents. The back, the saw, the double edge right here to the point, to make the point. The belly, the blade, the cheek, or what they call the edge, the fuller. This part right here is called a core. Exact same measurements. They hadn't changed nothing on it, except they are getting weak on it, because I have seen some new ones, and I have did the same thing, made these damn things loose. You have to knock it out, nail it back up, then fill it, put it back on, barely hammer it, and then you put your spike back in. That's what this is. It is a full tang though. Good knife or gut wolf, if you thought about it. I like your videos. Boy, you collect some knives. But that was what these are. This is for the AirForce survival knife. Now me, I have stock in certain areas, and it tickled me. See, Gus Wolf, this is native devout's kind of knife. It's a Roman knife. It's actually what we used to call an apple knife. The only thing is they've made it bigger. And back in the old days, it goes back to the Roman Empire. The Roman soldiers, and a different kind of knife that actually came from Ireland. It actually came from, you can say, Germany, because that's where the Saxons come from. And it'll be two flat things, like 2 quarters right here, and that was it. But during them old days, this was end up to being a weapon for the Roman army. And then when it got to America, they went down and down until they made an apple knife out of it. Now they went back, doing it again, but into a survival knife, hunting knife, good, solid. This is a blade, this is a blade, and you see the belly, like I was telling you, that's just for to keep it thick. The thickness is still the same. It's my idea on one part. The only thing I don't like about the company, and it's custom knives, Global Custom Knife Services, is they're doing the same thing. Everybody's doing the same thing except the American Indians. Did you see what they did wrong on this? This is Gus. This is a custom knife sheath. All that's one. It's supposed to be 2. Just like this. 2. See what I'm saying? Versus 1. This will come off. And for Native Devout, I gave him mine and I kept his. It has a button thing and they come off, but I didn't have nothing to put the buttons back on. I said, fine, I'll just cheat. So I put that stuff on and used the super glue. So now I can get it the way I want. And you see now, even Native in them knows I'm redoing it. Now look at mine. You'll notice there's 2. See, there's 2 of these, 2 strings in here. Not like where I put that. Not like this, 1 string. I'm putting 2. Locking it off and everything so this damn thing won't come off. Because after I took it from Native, put it on my side just like that, and it fell slap off. It broke slap off. Listen, what me and you say, Gus Wolf of Tennessee, you would say I did it within 15 feet. It ain't worth having. I mean, it ain't worth for shit then if it breaks off. So if it's going to do to him that way, I was going to fine. It broke him and then it broke me. Hell, I'll give him mine. I'll keep his. And I'm redoing the whole damn thing by hand. Because this is 1 thread and it's supposed to be 2 thread. See what I'm doing? So if Native Devout hears me, see what I'm doing with your sheath. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and finish what I've got to do with it. So you'll see that I'm doing what I said I'm doing. See that? Let me show you what I'm doing. Just tying it up. That's all I'm doing. I'm retying the whole damn thing. So now I won't have to worry about the damn thing coming off over and over again. And that nylon thread that I'm using is 11 millimeter instead of a 12 millimeter. What they was using is sewing thread. Just regular old sewing thread made out of cotton. That ain't gonna help nobody in the woods, except it's gonna break and you're gonna end up walking around with no knife, because your knife have it being fucked. Now you see what I'm doing. So I finished it because now this is my sheep and I had to redo the whole damn thing. So that's what I did. I just fixed it. So native devout knows I just refixed my knife. So I got a sheath. And you see what I was talking about? Instead of having a button, I went and cheap. I went and did that. A lot cheaper, lasts the same thing. It's gonna last the same distance I'll be using it for. It's back. That's all I did. Now when it comes to Civil Wars, I can show you some other shit. That'll be on my next.